In today's take, I want to talk about the Los Angeles Clippers. I want to talk about why they proved that they're the best team in LA so far. Now, before we get into that, though, please like, subscribe, also hit the notification bell, just so you can get the newest and the bonus content first. We put out content every day, so you won't miss any content here. Let's just go ahead and jump right in. So far, this is what we know. We know the Clippers have the team to win. They have the team that has resiliency. They have the team that's very unpredictable, but they also have a team that has the potential to win a championship if healthy. And so far, we know about the Lakers. Well, we gotta look at it this way: the Lakers are a good team. They've got a lot of star players, got a lot of star talent, but they haven't put it all together yet. And based upon what I've seen so far from the Lakers, I haven't been impressed with all the firepower they have. And I know they're missing some pieces off the bench, but they're not superstar players that they're missing. They have all their star players. With the star power they have, they should be a lot better, but they're not. And as of right now, if I had to really give the team the nod, it would be the Clippers, because even though the Clippers are playing 500 basketball and they could be playing better, but they are missing their best player. The Lakers aren't missing their best player, and they still lost to the Clippers. So when you look at that in its entirety, to me, you have to give the edge to the Clippers so far this season. Of course, things can change and anything like that, but as of right now, the Clippers have the edge, if you ask me. Definitely got huge contributions from other guys on the team that came through, and I feel like the Clippers can still get those type of contributions from those players, even if the Clippers play the Lakers again. And the Lakers are going to have to be more concerned about, not having as much turnovers and being able to sustain leads and things like that, rather than the Clippers will, because the Clippers, a lot of times, they're the opposite team. They find themselves down in games, and they always seem to find their way back into games and be resilient and come back and win. Or a lot of times, the Clippers, when their mind and their head is on straight, they take care of business how they're supposed to. But this year with the Lakers, it hasn't been that way so far. So when you look at the teams, both of them, how they stack up against each other, as of right now, the Clippers definitely have the better squad, because they got more scores, and they know exactly who they have and what they have. It's like the Lakers are still trying to figure out what they have and who takes the last shot, who's the guy that takes over in the fourth quarter, who handles the ball the most, how to get Anthony Davis implemented so everybody can, work off his energy. That's the way the Lakers are trying to play, and they're trying to figure it out. And it's really kind of difficult to have Westbrook on the team trying to figure things like that out, because he's a turnover machine and he doesn't space the floor because he can't shoot. And on top of that, he's mainly all a stats guy and usually doesn't equate to winning. And that's total opposite what LeBron James is. So I feel like, with the Lakers, they have more issues than the Clippers. The Clippers have issues, but, the issues that they have can be fixed if, a few adjustments in-house can be made. I mean, I said before, Ty Lue needs to implement Brandon Boston in the offense more, get a little bit more point guard play in the offense. And on top of that, find a way to get these guys to play with more ball movement, because even though they play isolation basketball, they're still a decent team. Even though they're playing isolation basketball, they're still a decent team. So if they just play with more ball movement, they'd be a really, really good team, and they would be more looked at as a contender or closer to a contender, rather than just a team that, has a lot of good pieces but hasn't put it together yet. So, I mean, they still got time, plus they still haven't got Kawhi Leonard back yet. So when they have all their pieces, I think they'll definitely be who they need to be. And if they do happen to make a trade or something like that, I mean, for the point guard position, and they hypothetically get somebody like a John Wall or, a Ben Simmons, that can definitely, do the Clippers in as well, in regards to, having another weapon they can use and get better service in regards to the point guard play, and letting, Kawhi and PG do their thing offensively how they can. So that's just pretty much where I see it, as far as what, both teams have to offer against each other. And as far as the Battle of LA, like I said, right now the Clippers up 1-0, and I definitely think the Clippers could beat them again, especially if the Lakers continue to play the way they're playing. The Lakers are playing basketball like they can't be trusted. And don't get me wrong, the Clippers are not playing that much better, but when you look at the Clippers overall, nobody expects them to win. Everybody expects the Lakers to win. So when you look at that notion in its entirety, you have to put more onus on the Lakers and less on the Clippers, because not a lot of people expect the Clippers to take the distance. Everybody is expecting, and everybody already put the Lakers in the finals with the Nets before the season even started. So when you look at how, both teams between the Lakers and Clippers are playing and how the seasons are ending up for both, they're pretty much playing the same basketball. And the Clippers don't have their best player, and the Lakers do. And it's just really, really crazy to think that, this team was actually the Lakers. They was actually put in the finals before this season even started, not even knowing how these older guys would hold up, because they're holding up so far in the season, but it's still early. It's only 20 plus games in. It's not even 50 plus games in yet. So we got to see how injury is. LeBron is definitely injury prone more so now. Anthony Davis has always been injury prone. And Anthony Davis only plays like a top 5 player when LeBron is in there, not when he's out. And then you got to look at this too. Russell Westbrook is a turnover machine, so that's not going to change about his game in one season. So, you have that, and plus you have an untrustworthy Carmelo Anthony who can go off for 7 or 8 games, and then 10 to 12 games, he can be non-existent because he's an older superstar. He's not like he used to be. So, these are all deficiencies against the Lakers. But at the same time, I do think the Lakers can get it together. They make a trade, or maybe, do something different with the rotation with Russ. They can do things better, but it's up to them, and we'll see how it pans out. But so far, I still think the Clippers have the edge as the better team in LA, because like I said, the head-to-head matchup speaks for itself just in regards to relevancy as of now. So of course, overall, all time you have to say the Lakers, of course, because the Lakers got the most championships and all that stuff. But as of right now, this season so far, what we've seen, the Clippers have the better team if you think about it, because even though the Clippers are confusing and they play down to their competition sometimes, which is really, really erratic and just terrible basketball, I'll give you that. But when it comes time for them to play, and show that they can actually, be on the same floor with a good team, or a team that people think is a good team like the Lakers, they came out with a victory, and their role players stepped up along with, the star player, and everybody played collectively. And that's something that the Lakers are going to have to understand. When it comes time to be who you need to be, you have to go out there and put it together, and you got to go out there and make it happen. The Clippers did. Hell, the Clippers lost to the Pelicans twice this season, the worst team in the NBA probably, but they beat the Lakers. You see what I'm saying? So it's like you can say what you want, but at the same time, you got to give them the credit. So far, that's the series is 1-0. I think they play the Lakers 2 or 3 more times this season. So maybe by then Kawhi will be healthy. Maybe by then, the Clippers will be back in full effect. And that's when we will definitely see, more. But at the same time, the Clippers are 1-0 without their superstar in Kawhi Leonard. So that definitely shows how good of a team the Clippers are and how much more respect they should be getting. But it's up to them to earn that respect as the rest of the season goes. But so far, not bad, but there's definitely work to be done on both teams, both sides. You can't say either side is much better than the other one, but there is a little bit of a gap there, and right now the Lakers got that. The Clippers got that. They're up 1. And like I said, they're just building confidence, and that's what the Clippers need to do. So do the Lakers, but we'll see exactly how it pans out in the end. Like I said, this is the NBA. Anything can change. But as of right now, like I said, I would give the nod to the Clippers so far. But we'll see how that this rivalry matchup continues, and see if it takes into the playoffs this time like we've always wanted to happen as well. But hey, that's my take on everything. Leave any comments in the comment section. Let me know what you think. And hey, Khaliis out.